Hey, hey, welcome back to Cream City Dreams. I am your host, Megan Schultz, and this is the season all about joy. I am bringing the joy. The guests are bringing the joy. I specifically chose all the guests on this season because they bring the joy. And I can't wait to introduce you to today's guest. I am talking with Tiffany Miller, and she is basically the embodiment of joy. I had to go to my thesaurus to find all these words, but if I look at the word embody, she is all of them. She personifies it, she incorporates it, she realizes it, she manifests it, she expresses it, she represents it, she epitomizes it, she encapsulates it, she exemplifies it. Oh my gosh. All of the synonyms for the word embody, Tiffany just does. And there are occasions where I wish I did a video podcast, because if you could see this woman's smile, how big it is, how warm it is, you would understand. I wouldn't even have to give you all of those synonyms. You would see it for yourself. I am so excited for you to hear this conversation because there's so much she is doing and so many ways you can tap into what she is doing here in Milwaukee. So if you are needing more joy, this is the conversation for you. All right, let's dive right in. Today on the podcast, I am so excited to welcome a local entrepreneur, a creative, a community builder, a placemaker, an author, and a poet, Tiffany Miller. Tiffany is the co-founder of the Bronzeville Collective, Live in Bloom, Fly Blooms, and is now the founder and owner of one of the coolest spaces I have seen in a long time, Fruition MKE on 27th and Wells on the near west side. And this space is so many things. It's a co-working space, it's a cafe, it's a mini makers market, it's an art gallery, it's a maker space, and really just this gathering space that is infused with so much joy. And this is a season all about joy. So I'm so excited you could join me. Welcome, Tiffany.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I have to say, I have known that I wanted a season on joy, or a series on joy, for a while now. And I've had this running list, and your name was on the list before I even knew who you were, because I don't remember how the segment on TMJ4 came across my feed somehow, where they came to the space and you gave them a little tour and talked about the vision, and you just smiled so hard and talked so, like, you were so effervescent in your talk. And it's funny because I didn't catch your name in the interview, but on my list immediately I was like, Fruition MKE lady.
I love that.
Yes. And then last season I had Dasha Kelly, who I'm sure you know, Dasha Kelly Hamilton, I should say, on the show. And at the end, I always ask for recommendations, women who my guests see as inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned that I was having this summer on joy, and Dasha was like, "Oh, if you're having a season on joy, you have to have Tiffany on your show."
Yes,
So,
I love Dasha. That's my sister. Right.
yes. So clearly I have found you at the right time and in the right
Mhm.
season. So this is perfect. I wonder, I want to start, for those folks who may not know who you are or about
Mhm.
what you're up to. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself by way of telling us where all this joy comes from? Like, how are you the joy lady? Who are you?
Uh, so, we're coming off of Mother's Day. This Mother's Day was the sixth Mother's Day without my mom physically present.
Mm.
So when my mom transitioned, we had days like it wasn't like this sudden thing. There was a series of days, and then before the days, we had a series of months
Mm.
where we had time to reciprocate all the love and care that she gave to us being my siblings,
Mm.
and when my mother transitioned, I had to make a decision. Grief didn't feel like the right word for me. And I associate, like, being a word person, being a poet or writer, words carry a lot of energy.
Mm.
And grief for me carries the energy of like regret, anger, frustration, like a lot of heavy. It's heavy. And I didn't want to feel heavy and I didn't want to be angry because I would be a very different person
Mm.
today, a very different person today. And I wanted to find joy. Like, I wanted to be able to see the signs, symbols, and synchronicities, like songs and rainbows and things I couldn't explain. And that comes with through the language of mourning for me. And there's a whole protocol for mourning that is out in the world. It's really hard to find. It's embedded in a lot of pages and information about grief and the stages of grief, but there's a whole protocol for mourning. And for me, being able to understand that my mom left this love legacy, I knew how she would have wanted us to continue to live. I feel that in every space that I go into. I feel that energy, that light, the signs, the moments, the numbers, the words that come. My mother takes over my pen to
Mm.
send messages, and my handwriting is very different. Today I refreshed like the altar space, and I shifted one thing and saw some pictures I hadn't seen in a while, and I felt good. And there's some letters that I peeked open. I was like, I don't want to read these right now. I'll come back to them later, so I
Mm.
can hear her voice. And but I had to make that decision, and at that time, in making that decision, I was able to begin this path of joy in the morning, the MOURN, and that choosing that path is not the easiest thing when people have expectations of how you should be, or they expect the old Tiffany, the Tiffany that didn't have boundaries, the Tiffany that allowed luggage to just be dropped off, other people's baggage, and Tiffany, the version of Tiffany that was the strong friend that everybody called and everybody got advice from, and everybody got a word of advice, a piece of positivity. And when I needed that reciprocated, it wasn't from a lot of people. And so it was a really interesting time in my life. And sometimes it continues to be interesting because people have expectations of you that they don't have of themselves. But I know that I expect to find joy every day. It's like the light is coming into my co-working space right now. And it
Mm.
feels good. It feels warm in here. The sun is shining. My dog was chilling outside on the deck just for an hour. He did not want to come inside. So there's joy in those little things. I even noticed like the tree leaves were like flickering, and it was just like the subtle whisper of wind coming through. So I being able to identify like those small things lead to those bigger things, and that's what I try to hold on to every day.
Mm. And that really, so when you say like the old Tiffany and the new Tiffany, it was your mom's transition that really set
Yeah.
off this new Tiffany who notices joy, who, I mean,
Mhm.
I can just hear the poet in you like noticing the leaves and the sun flickering and the sound of the whisper. Like, yes, yes, the poet in you.
Even just being at fruition, and I understand why fruition exists, is to restore joy, create joy, and amplify joy. I mean, it's in this restoration project in a building that was vacant for 15 years. And The coffee shop is in the same place that a coffee shop used to exist. The co-working space and the creative space were homes to stores, entrepreneurs, and this space exists for entrepreneurs and creatives alike. And this space is everything that I am. Like when I need to, like today, I need to think and plan and execute some number stuff and figure out menus. I'm able to do that in the co-working space. The other day, I made espresso scrubs and body oils in the maker space and retailed that to get ready for the mini store that I have. I'm gonna start calling it the neighborhood gift shop because we really don't have like a gift shop in the near west side, and I kind of I want to do that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, okay. So you're talking about Fruition MKE, and I want to make sure that listeners have a sense of what really everything that it encompasses.
Should know what it is.
Yeah.
So Fruition MKE is Milwaukee's only cafe, co-working, and creative space. The cafe is open to the public and provides healthy options like protein-packed breakfast wraps, panini wraps, and hummus-based lunch wraps and avocado-based sandwiches. There is amazing coffee. I partner with Collectivo for my coffee supplies. I do refreshers with tea, lemonade, mocktail vibe, energy, and also amazing chais. We're building our chai menu to have some beautiful offerings this summer. But the cafe also does catering, so that's a whole nother thing. And then the co-working space and the maker space offer affordable memberships for people to come in and utilize the space anywhere from like $50 to $70, $75 for those spaces. Pay what you can or pay as you go per month. And if you want a fob to give you access outside and beyond the cafe hours, that's like $125, $150 a month. So in addition to being like the only space of its kind in the city, I am one of the most affordable for what the space has to offer. And the creatives in this space, two in particular, like their business has tripled since being here. So I love things like that. I love the connections that are naturally made. Like I could host a networking event like till I'm blue in the face, but these natural, like just start up a conversation. Hey, how you doing? People are getting to know each other. I went to one of my members' like 40th birthday parties. It's becoming like a really beautiful community, and it goes. I often say like the cafe, this space is not transactional. I don't want people to just come in and feel like a ticket number. It's like some people's numbers I memorize for the rewards program. I'll know, how long they're going to hang out, or if it's to go, I'll know what their drink preferences are. Just that builds relationships. And I want that interaction every time versus it being a transaction, because that doesn't feel good. I want a good drink. I want my staff to know what your drink is, so it's perfect every time.
So on the one side, when you walk in, on the one side, there is the co-working space that has lots of tables and couches and a meeting room, even if I'm remembering.
There's like a private desk room.
Yeah.
Office that I'm never in, adjustable high seats. I have comfy, cozy window seats too. So, you can put your feet up and work with your laptop, sip your coffee or whatever. The maker space is like, that's the dream. So there's sewing machines, sergers, heat press machines, the pre-cut bencher, which will cut your design, like copies of your design in 6 to 8 minutes. So it saves you a bunch of time. There's basic art supplies in there, a huge workspace table, cutting boards, just whatever you need. the basic stuff is in there for you to work on your vision without having to, a lot of times like cost prohibits or inhibits creativity, and the makerspace eliminates that
Mm.
as best as I can. Like I have enough in there to get you going. So instead of investing in the actual equipment, you can invest in the materials needed to work with the equipment and then just go ahead and launch.
So people would bring their own materials in, but they would have access
Yeah,
to the sewing machines or the
yeah,
cricket or all
yeah.
the things that you have.
Because to like fine tune, like if you're a fashion designer, to fine tune what you're creating, you need a serger. Every garment that anybody wears, a serger has touched it. So sergers cost $300 to $400, and I
Mm.
haven't checked the prices lately, but with everything going on, I'm sure that price has increased too.
Mm.
So that's a lot for someone who is starting. Soon I'll have some access to fabric available here as well, because I have an overflow.
Mm. Mm.
So people can, purchase on the low. Like we don't even have like giant fabrics anymore. So it's hard to access a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I just want to be a source of people to connect and collaborate, build community, create in meaningful ways. And creating a community is fun
Mm.
to just being in that, everybody being in that creative flow. It just makes the magic happen even more.
Yeah. And so people can come in and use the maker space in the same way that they can the
Mhm.
co-working space. Are they
Yeah.
different price structures for both sides, or is it the same?
They are slightly different, and some equipment requires like a demo. Like I need you to know how to use it so you don't break
Yeah.
it.
Sure. Yeah. At $300 $400 a machine,
Mhm.
that makes complete sense. Yeah.
The Creek Adventure is $1,000. So just to have that, it would have taken me like a really long time. I probably wouldn't have purchased it, but I'm grateful that the business was able to purchase it for the space,
Yeah.
because it just saves so much time. Like to go from an hour to 6 minutes is
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did this idea come from? The building is so incredible. As you said, it was an unused space, or it used to be used as a
Mhm.
community space and a coffee shop. But did they come to you? I don't know who they are, but did somebody come to you to do this or?
Near West Side Partners is Fruition wouldn't exist without Near West Side Partners. So almost 4 years ago, 21, I was asked to become a partner for a co-working space. And I was like, sure, that sounds good. With the work I was doing at the time, it aligned everything. I say yes to things that align with what I'm doing.
Hmm.
So there was another space that we signed a lease for, and there were to do all of what we wanted to do. It would have been harder to do it in that space, and it wasn't easily like visible to the public. And the licensing or zoning, there were a couple of complications with that.
Hmm.
So we have always been in contact with Near West Side Partners. They're a beautiful organization that does a lot for the businesses in this area and the residents and the community at large. Just really full service. And we were like, is it possible to explore other options within Near West Side? We know we wanted to be here, central. It's a few minutes from downtown. It's a few minutes from the South Side. It's a few minutes from pretty much everywhere. And they brought us some other options. And this Concordia 27 development was the last option.
Hmm.
And looking at the plans, it was like Fruition was supposed to be here. Like it just aligned. Cafe connected to the maker space. co-working space across the hall from the cafe. So there's some separation of cafe noise, space for office. There's a conference room, a media room. It's like all the elements of Fruition just easily popped into the plan, the vacant space that they had in the design. So that got rolling spring of 2022. And then things just started happening. There were some delays. And then when the delays were like, okay, we're good to go, like the beginning of 2024, things really started to happen really, 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 really fast. I'm like, okay. Oh, there's counters. Oh, now it's time to order equipment and furniture and really make it happen. And July 8th, Fruition opened, and mid-September, I became the only owner.
Wow.
So things happen like really fast. The cafe is something that I love. Like I've been in a relationship with coffee for a really long time. So it just works. It really works.
Yeah. And so up until then, or maybe simultaneously, you're still the co-owner of the Bronzeville Collective?
Yeah. So here's one thing that we like the Bronzeville Collective moved locations at the same time that Fruition was opening.
Oh my gosh.
So like to move a whole store, to set up a new business, and to have partners on like both ends as trying to navigate all of that. That was a really interesting time in my life. And then like I've never worked in a cafe. I've never worked in food service, hospitality. I've never like done food prep, catering, none of that. So to build like a menu, to begin, at first we were like outsourcing a lot of things, and then I brought everything in house in the fall. But it's really like it's a huge transition that I didn't plan for. But what I found out along the way is that my grandmother had a restaurant in Cotton Plant, Arkansas, before she moved up here with her family. And she it was called the Wagon Wheel. And she was really successful. And because of her success, her restaurant was burned down. So this was like 1950 South. So I know that there's the quote, like, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. And I feel like I'm really living that out here. But I found that out in like November. I called my aunt and I'm like, who had a restaurant? Like, not did somebody have, like, I was for sure certain in my spirit that somebody had a restaurant in my life.
Yes.
And it was my mom's mom, so grandnana. And I'll see a recipe in my head. I'll know what ingredients I have. Like the hummus wraps came to me in a dream. And I see how I need to layer it, all of that. And then it's here, it's on the menu, and it's good.
Oh, wow.
So I just really enjoy finding a different way. The only reason why I have a catering menu is because someone in the building, another business, asked me if I did catering. And I was like, well, let me see if I can figure it out. And I was able to figure it out.
Wow.
Truman McGee of Funky Fresh Spring Rolls, he helped me figure out my breakfast. I was like, I see how I want to layer it. I need to find this. I need to find this. And then I'll roll it up and panini press it. And one day he walked in and he was like, you still serious about breakfast? I was like, yeah, I just need to figure out this and this. And he was like, okay, I'll be back. He came back in the afternoon and dropped off 2 ingredients. And I was like, bet. That night, I went and bought a panini press and another piece of equipment. That Wednesday, I rearranged my cafe. That Thursday, I tested it out and loved it. I was like, oh, is it like everything I saw in my head? It works.
What?
So, and then
Love it.
I had like four, I had enough supplies to make four. I tried one, I sold the other three. Amazing. And that night I went out and bought all the supplies that I needed. So, and I've had a breakfast menu like ever since. But that, like, I'm one or two people away or one or two ingredients away from the next thing.
6 degrees of separation from the
Exactly.
breakfast menu. Love it.
Exactly. And then, that things are like aligning for this space to be successful. And I love it. Like sometimes you don't know what your calling is until like you get in it.
Mm.
I like nobody could have told me that this was gonna happen for me like this because this was not on my bingo card. But it's working and it feels really good. And my goal now is to find the right ingredient, the right team ingredients to grow this and sustain it even more.
Mm. Mm. How has it been received so far from the community, from people who are using the space?
They folks that come in, I love Google because people are be like coffee shop near me and I'll pop up, co-working space, I'll pop up. The community, I live in the neighborhood, so I'm 3 minutes away.
Okay.
And when something new pops up, I'm like, no, what's that? Let me see how long they gonna be around. Let me see, are they open on time? What are their hours? What they got in there? And the community is like that because I question, I want to know who owns it, what do they do, what are they like, are they nice, does it taste like, all the questions. So I want this space to be an invitation, like come inside. So
Mm.
come inside, ask questions. I don't care if you purchase or not. I just want you to know that this is here and available for you to enjoy. So much so, like I built the indoor patio section
Mm.
that there's comfy, cozy seating in the window, fresh flowers. I just want the community to know that this space is here. It's beautiful. It's built beautiful for them to use and come in and enjoy. So,
Mm.
like I've had neighbors. There's apartments across the street, and this one woman, she came over. She was like, "I see you. I see you every morning and you be out here, you be working and I see what you're doing. Like people see you, even though you don't know that they're watching. And I want to continue to move in a way that makes my community happy and
Mm.
proud. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you're pretty close to Marquette University. It seems like it
Mhm.
could be a nice hub for students to come or faculty to come and use your space.
Yeah, they like my food. So
Yes, yeah.
enjoyed my lunch boxes and the coffee too. So some have even come down to study for midterms and finals. So they just needed to get off campus. So I like that because
Yeah.
I used to use coffee shops for that exact same reason, just a place to unwind, even the ones that were like further away from campus too. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess I'm curious because so much of what you do at the cafe and the makerspace and the co-working space is sort of about other people and lifting other people up and giving them this space to gather. But how do you keep this joy up day after day, right? Like the world is a little bit of a dumpster fire sometimes
it
right
is.
now. How do you protect your joy? How do you keep your joy?
So Milwaukee is that place where you have to protect and create your own joy. So I'm able to exist in spaces that I'm creating versus being in. I'm able to be in community with other people who are creating joy and
Mm.
creative spaces. So there's some There's several safe places around the city that I'm able to enjoy. I feel like the yesterday I was in here making coffee. I left my house at 7:40. I got here to make coffee to serve at the domes. At 8 o'clock, I hear a ton of sirens. And I'm like, it was fire truck after fire truck after fire truck going down 27th Street, and the sirens stopped. And so I peeked out, and it's like a large response on 27th Highland. And like, I don't know what is going on, but it's not good. And I was just over there. I didn't see anything, but there's a huge fire yesterday, and so many families got displaced. There was life and a lot of injuries. I'm in the middle of being at the domes, and there's mothers and families and grandmas that I'm able to engage with. And, I'm looking and checking the news, like, where did this happen? The person that was working with me, they have family that lives nearby. So they were having difficulty reaching their family. So it's like you pause and you feel, and then being in a space of service, you have a limited amount of time before the next interaction. And I want the next interaction to feel good. It's like it's always just like tapping into whatever little source that is to be kind. And be of service to someone else. Did I cry a bunch yesterday? Absolutely. I'm able to use creativity as a way to heal. I write. One of my friends' mother's transition yesterday as well. So in my writing yesterday, I was like, Ma, can you welcome her mama? Can you give her instructions on how to show up as an ancestor so she knows that her mama is always there? And I cried a lot.
Oh,
because I'm like, that's my sister friend. Like, we've been friends for 20 years. So it's just the moments happen and the moments come, and life is going to life. There's beautiful, and there's sad, there's mourning, there's other opportunities for joy. But it's still like I protect my joy through boundaries, through my voice. So if something is not sitting right or not aligned, I do speak up. I'm not as silent as I used to be. I am strategic with that. So sometimes where I'm not as vocal about, even with like the change in ownership, I was not vocal about the how and the whys and the behind the scenes, especially in public, because it wouldn't have brought a ton of joy for me. It was really difficult, really, really difficult time too. But I knew that I wanted this space to like survive. It had to, because it's not about me. It's about the community and being able to offer healthy options, like in a food desert. That like survival was important for me. So I was quiet but active. And the activity, people will see what you're doing. And when people come in here, they'll see the truth. And that's it.
Yes. Well, what is that quote? Is it Maya Angelou about people not remembering what you said or what you did, but they remember how you make them feel? And I feel like I'm hearing that's what you want it to be when people walk into Fruition. You want them to remember how they felt there.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, they'll keep coming back. Oh, she remembered this, this, and this. And them made it, and it tastes the same. Like, it tastes just like I had it the first day I had it. I want those moments all the time, because that's what keeps people coming back and enjoying the space.
Yeah. Do you host your own events that people can come and as a one-off event, as opposed to being a member necessarily and coming or bringing a group themselves if they wanted to come and do something with you? Is that something you offer yet, or?
I am working on creating the time.
I mean, you do have a lot of hats on right now.
Yeah, to offer those things. Like I want some demo days so people can learn new equipment. I want just some time to just like create and chill. I've opened the space up for other people to do things like co-working events with Jamie of Jamie Robert photography and uh, like Symphony, the creative house.
Mm-hmm.
She's hosted like Unstuck and gotten creatives together to flesh out, ideas that they're working on, art that they're working on. I've done like gallery night. We did our first gallery night in day in March or April. And then makers markets. So this past weekend, I had the Honey Joy Mother's Day market. I'm looking to have a kind of a night market type situation to celebrate being a year open in business.
Mm.
So I need to celebrate that because
Yeah.
a lot of people, I have quite a few people who intentionally open a cafe, bakery, things like that. I did not dream of having this, right? I dreamed of getting my dining room table back. I dreamed of not being in a cubicle. And I dreamed of having a coffee shop in my neighborhood. The universe is really funny. So I tell people all the time, like they talk about what they want to do, and I was like, be careful what you ask for, because
Yeah.
I might give it to you, and the universe might put you in charge of all of it.
I feel like the universe only gives us what we can handle, right?
I'm
So
like, are you
clearly.
sure, universe? Are you sure?
And the universe said yes.
Apparently. So
Well, and what about, are you wearing the hats of the other businesses that I mentioned? Fly Blooms and Live in Bloom?
I just created some stuff for Fly Blooms that I feel really good about. I have some art acquired, and when I can share who acquired it, I will. But I made these beautiful like textile art banners. So I have the acquisition series releasing soon, and I've had an aromatherapy line for years, but with the coffee, the espresso grounds, I made like this decadent espresso scrub that
Mm.
makes your skin just super soft. So I just worked on that. So I'll be talking about that online soon,
Okay.
and body oils that go with that too, because I like a good oil after showering or after like a really good scrub. So
And people could find these in your shop there and at
yeah,
Bronzeville Collective, or
At Fruition right now,
okay.
I gotta make my way over to Brownsville Collective to refresh and things like that. A lot of my time is here.
Mm.
So I'm not a physically present partner at the Brownsville Collective. And me and Lilo Allen of Papyrus and Charles has been holding down the Brownsville Collective. And a lot of people like ask about our relationship, like our friendship, like, is everything okay? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's my sister and my wifey. Let's clear that up. And Lilo will tell you the same thing. But I was also like, sharing with her, I was like, we never planned on operating. I never planned on being the only partner here. She never planned on operating the Bronzeville Collective, like the day-to-day operations. And that transition is like, it's not the easiest to like navigate, because we for years we like split our time there, communicated that balance, things like that. And the scales are like, I am always here, and it requires me, it's a baby.
Mm.
And it's even with that transition or navigating that ownership transition too, it was really, I was in fight or flight mode for a really long time. just trying to figure things out, which didn't create the capacity for me to figure things out for the Bronzeville Collective, and how I could be present. And I was coming to the realization, I was like, I cannot work 7 days a week. Am I working 7 days a week? Yeah. But I'd like to be like split in so many different directions. I would have not been healthy for myself.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
or healthy for anything that I'm, connected with. So that's been probably like one of the toughest parts of navigating two physical places where both rely on you. But I really want to get to a place where I can be everywhere and nowhere all at once. That's the
You'd like
ultimate
to become
goal.
ubiquitous. Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's like I want every space that I'm connected to thrive without me needing to physically be there. And it's just interesting, like dynamic too with woman-owned businesses. Like there's this expectation that we need to be there. Like people look for our face. They look for us to physically be there and working all the time. And they don't have that same expectation of men. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I don't want y'all looking for me.
Yeah. Well, that's when it comes down to finding this team, right? Who can make
Exactly.
the coffee just like you can. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Or talk about it. Like, and I haven't yet figured out how to clone myself. But like it's just interesting. And me and Lilo were talking about that like the other day. But someone was questioning, like, I'm like, we're not breaking up. We're good. Well, I need to see if we're doing brunch today because I'm hungry. But just stuff like that. Like, and for me and Lilo's relationship, we were friends and creativity first. That friendship turned into like being family. So any iteration of Bronzeville Collective, that will always remain.
Mm.
So yeah.
Mm. Well, it sounds like you are knowing your boundaries these days and knowing even if you're still working 7 days a week, look, man, let's get it down to five, maybe.
Relationship with Costco and Restaurant Depot, and I have to see them a couple times a week. We have dates.
Yeah.
I spend all the money there. It's not balanced. They don't go Dutch or anything. So
Oh, oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well, I noticed you took yourself to Puerto Rico recently, so that must be your happy place too, right?
oh, I had to go because I was gonna break if I didn't take a break, and it was really. I saw a post the week before of an event that the Poets Festival was having. Lady Lee is like, oh, that's my heart. So I was like, oh, I wish I could be there. And the universe it was like that quick. Like, why can't you?
Mm.
I was like, let me see. And I was just doing the research. I knew how much I wanted to like spend, what my max was. I was able to cut that in half. I got a flight for $150 round trip. I have flight credit, plus I was able to use points on Southwest. I ain't never been able to use points on Southwest, but I was able to, and I went.
Nice, nice. Oh, I love
I
that.
had so much. I needed that. So I needed that. And then like the week that I came back, it was like, oh, we missed you. Busy, busy. But I'm
Yes.
glad I took that break so I can
Okay.
handle the week that came.
Yes, yeah. What advice would you give? I'm asking all of the guests on this season because it's a season of joy. What advice would you give to someone who wants to grow more joy in their life, who maybe isn't feeling like life is particularly joyful in their life or their work or whatever?
You have to give to yourself before you give to the world.
Mm,
It can be a small meditation. It could be reading a page in a book. Have those things by your nightstand. It could be going for a short walk or a long walk or working out or taking a longer shower with your favorite soap. Like you need to give to yourself before you pour out to others every day. So, and even at night, taking a moment to do the same thing, do a short meditation, jot down something, that happened that you loved, in a day. There's always joy. So if you are able to stand outside and just stand in that one spot of sun, or notice a heart-shaped like spot on concrete, or like the lilies I planted in memory of my mother are starting to pop up. There might be like a daffodil, or you might see a little bumblebee on the dandelion that is popping up in your yard. So like, don't be irritated by the weed. Find the bumblebee. Because there's a lot of things happening, and it takes just a little moment to notice. And then once you notice, like, you'll start noticing more, and you can appreciate and find the joy, the glimmers.
I love that.
A lot of us look for this like big, extravagant like moment to happen, and it's a bunch of little moments that lead up to the big. So
yes. Oh, thank you for that reminder. Is there a woman in Milwaukee who you see as living her dream, as joyful, as inspired? Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? You interviewed Dasha
2 times. She is so cool.
Oh, like Jana Moore, Hyacinth. Jana Moore is like with the African American Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin. And she also owns Brownstone. Hyacinth owns Concoctions and also owns Tropic MKE. And Lilo, of course, she is a phenomenal like creative, but also a caretaker of both her parents, and an amazing friend, and creative, especially around like social media too. And Dr. Monique Liston,
so many.
Venus Williams. Oh
yes.
I just love her so much. So I could sit here for about 10 minutes and name a lot of beautiful women.
Yes, there are so many. I keep saying I'll stop this podcast when I run out of cool women, but I don't think
I think we talked to Jamila Riley. I love her. And then Tamisha of Baked Dreams, Tamara White of Delicious Bites. Like, I just love, it's so many people.
Yes. I love the community in Milwaukee too, that everybody it feels like everybody is so embedded with each other and just so supportive. And so I don't feel a lot of like competition or elbowing or, it's just like everybody wants us all to succeed.
Star Brazil is doing the Proud Black Girl Conference at Fruition in July. Amazing creative, amazing. So amazing. I love her. It's my new. I love like meeting new people, and then friendship like evolves from that. So I'm super grateful for her. For her too. That's my new friend. I don't have the no new friends policy over here. So
you hear that, listeners? Get over to Fruition MKE if you need a new friend. You've got one right here.
But a ton of joy. So just come and add to it.
Yes.
We'll fly together.
I read somewhere that you said we all deserve places of hope and joy. And I just want to thank you for creating this space that is joyful, like literally joyful, so full in Milwaukee right now. Thank you for sharing your joy. And I feel like when people share their joy, they give other people permission to be joyful as well.
Absolutely. And it becomes just as contagious as laughter.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for coming on the podcast. If listeners want to support you, obviously they can check out your membership rates and options and come use the space. How should they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
They can hit me up on IG. I'm at Tiff Blooms, TIFFBLOOMS, or follow Fruition, Fruition _ MKE. I always cross post and talk about the things, but just send me a message, or better yet, just walk through the door.
Yes, excellent. And it's on 27th between Wells and
Kilbourne. Right in the middle of the block, and you'll see a bunch of windows with a bunch of activity.
Yes. I highly recommend that listeners get down there to check this out this summer and enjoy a coffee and a new friend.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. Happy anniversary to Fruition MKE, July 8th, coming up very soon. I hope you have a chance to get there. Honestly, listeners, if you are like, I am getting bored of my coffee spots, I need a new spot to bring a friend, this is where you want to go. Well, for one, you'll make a new friend, as she said, but it just has a beautiful vibe to it. There's so many neat things that you can look at, so much beautiful art, and then get a little tour of her maker space and the co-working space, because if you don't need it yourself, no doubt you know somebody who could use this space. Super central, super convenient, and just super joyful. It really, really is. And I got to get myself back there to try some of these breakfast sandwiches now that I've heard about them. Thank you for the reminder, Tiffany, to take care of our own joy, nurture our own joy so that we can be present for others. And yes, that can mean massages, that can mean long showers, that can mean all the things that we often think of when we think about taking care of ourselves. But leave it to the poet to remind us that sometimes joy comes in really tiny nuggets of noticings. So blades of grass, clouds in the sky, the way the light shines through the window and hits your face, all the little things too are equally as important and as joy-filled as the big things. And I really love the way she looked for the synchronicities, the whispers from her ancestors, from her mom, from her grandma, and the wagon wheel restaurant that she talked about, and the way she's really open to listening for that. I think a lot of us go through our days with our heads down and we miss the whispers. We miss the synchronicities. We miss the serendipities that come with being a human and living in this world. And I think if we can pause and do a little more noticing, I wonder how many of us would hear those, see those, and believe a little more in the magic of joy. So there's a challenge for you this week. See if you can sit still, stand still, be still, and just notice. All right. If you want to get over to the cafe and make a new friend, Tiffany can be found at 819 North 27th Street between Kilbourne and Wells. She can be found on all the socials, and I'll put links to those in the show notes. She also has a beautiful website, so you can check it out there, get a little tour of the space. But really, the best thing to do is to see it for yourself. So I would highly recommend getting down there at some point this summer. And if I ever host events there that I open up to Cream City Dreams listeners, I will share it on my newsletter, because I know those are the folks who actually want to hear from me, because they've signed up for me to land in their inbox once a week. I promise I don't spam. So if you think that might be something that you would like, make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter, please. Head over to creamcitydreams.com and sign up right from the homepage so you never miss a beat. And I will be back next week with another incredible Milwaukee woman living joyfully in the Cream City. Until then, Milwaukee, keep on dreaming.